my video editor.
Cool.
So that'll gonna save a lot of upload time.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So before we went live, Stone and I were just talking about USPSA and tactical response and just a whole bunch of different things. And then, of course, Quark with his picture-in-picture.
Hey, it's something I figured out how to do today in my video editing software. I think that's awesome, especially since I never read the.
What did you get to do?
Picture-in-picture. I can screen share of it real quick. You'll see the other picture in the lower left. That's actually from the quad.
Hold on, let me turn my camera on. Oh no, that's cool. How'd you what software are you running first?
I'm using what
is it an actual
CyberLink
software?
Power Director.
Oh, okay. So that's an actual software that you bought and paid for or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a little different than, or more advanced than like a Windows Movie Maker?
Yeah, it's relatively simple though.
That's good.
You know, compare it, with all the power it can do, all the stuff it can do, it's a lot easier than the Sony, whatever the Sony one is. And it isn't, that much money either. It's under $100.
See, I'm trying to figure out how to, and I guess I'm pretty much thinking that those guys that do it just run two cameras where they're showing, like point of aim or at the shooter, and then they're showing point of impact at the target.
Yep.
Kind of on a split screen. I'm wondering if I can do that on my actual Windows Movie Maker, if I'm gonna have to get something more advanced to run something like that.
I think you have to get something a little more advanced, and now I've got two 720p, little like almost size like a keychain camera, and then my main camera. So
yeah, I'm thinking about buying another little cheap camera just to sit down by some targets, just to capture some impact shots. Or
yeah, if you're anywhere near, well, if you're far enough back from the steel, you're cool, because the spalling shouldn't hit the camera. But
right, yeah.
Can't really go wrong with like a GoPro for situations like that, because they're tough cameras.
Yeah, just make sure you have a cover on.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a GoPro because I could make that my primary, and then this other little camcorder deal I got, make that a secondary, because that thing was only like $200.
Well, you can always protect it with like a sheet of plexiglass or something.
Well, yeah, and it works good. I mean, all those pictures I took at NRA, that slideshow. I don't know if you guys watch that slideshow, but that thing takes incredible pictures. It does 1080, but the important thing I figured out is the actual memory card. The memory card I got for that thing was $80 because it's a 1080 like HD memory card. I was talking to a buddy that does photography, and he's like, you could have a good camera, he said, but if you don't have, if the memory isn't, or the card isn't good enough to capture the high definition that your camera is able to capture, then it's null and void. Like, you could have a great camera and a shitty little drive, and it's, if it doesn't have the ability to, I guess, I don't know how that.
It can't write fast enough.
Right, it can't copy the high definition onto the memory card. Well, then it doesn't matter how good your camera is. So I bit the bullet and bought one of those $80 memory cards, and it made a huge difference. Plus, shit, I think I've got
What is it, like a
Probably.
64 gig or?
Yeah, I think it is yeah, I think it is a 64. It's
I just want to give a piece of warning to everybody out there. Make sure your camera will support the video card too. So if it writes too fast, sometimes the cameras will not support them. So.
right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a let me pull it out real quick. It's a it's a Pixel. So it's a Pixel Ultra Plus HD 48 MB, whatever
That's
that
fast.
means.
Yeah, that's how fast it writes.
Okay, and then
48 megabytes per second.
and then it's a 64 gigabyte yield thing, but it's a Ultra Plus is the thing on it.
It's a nice fast card.
I don't know anything about those. But whenever it gets to hardware and with me and computers, that's when I start drawing blanks because as a software developer, I can give two shits how fast the hardware is as long as it can support whatever I.
By the way, I'm so far up I could barely make out the quad, and the camera didn't even capture it at all.
Yeah, I was kind of looking, and I was like, why the heck are you just having a blue sky?
It's a little dot up there, trust me.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah, now I'm dropping it down. You can see by that.
Now those little how much are those little quadcopters you're running?
This one I'm running here with the camera setup and everything was 150.
Yeah, I mean the one he's running isn't small. I mean it's still small, but it's bigger than entry level.
Okay, so then what's the ones that are those things that are like $1,500? Is that just
You're talking about the DJI Phantom?
yeah, that quadcopter that has the built-in camera. You can mount a GoPro right to the bottom of it.
Yeah, most of them don't even have that. Yeah, what it is that with those you've got you have to still mount your own camera, but they've got gimbals and you can actually rotate the camera instead of the quad.
Right. Yeah, because that guy had one at the Iraq vet shoot. And I was asking him, a couple questions, and he said, "Yeah, this thing was like $1,200." I was like, "Jesus Christ!" And he's like, "Yeah, it only flies for about 10 minutes on a full battery."
And those batteries are about $180 to $200.
But
Pretty much.
super. It was neat, but damn, that's a lot of.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah. If you do buy a quad, buy an expensive one. Don't worry about it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I've been looking at those little. I guess it's like more or less a real dense styrofoam construction. It's got the four little rotors encapsulated in that styrofoam stuff.
I mean, you really don't need that. I mean, just a small little quad. I mean, looking for $60, $70 is probably all you'll need.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't.
I would just suggest a Hubsan X4 107.
Yeah, that's what both Quark and I got in the quads with, and Ballistic has one of those as well.
I will say I did pull the power cable out of my Hubsan in a crash today.
Now, is that something you get at like Best Buy, or where do you get those?
Amazon.
eBay.
That too.
Yeah. If you have a Hobbytown USA, then you're limited on the supplies.
Yeah, we got Hobby Lobbies here.
Hobby Lobby is different. We do like a Hobbytown USA. Jeez.
Yeah, Hobby Lobbies are usually more, around here at least, are more craft.
Oh, okay.
So.
I've never been to a hobby lobby.
Yeah.
I'll see if you actually have one in your area. There's one in Kennesaw.
Oh, okay. That's not about 45 minutes. That's not too far.
Yeah, Kennesaw, Duluth, and Augusta. So, whatever one's closer to you. But if you're going that route, then you're going to be looking at a Blade Nano QX. Tough quads, really super easy to fly, and just don't handle the wind that well. So I did not have a good day besides with the 180 today. Broke the frame on my Nano, learning flips, so that's out of commission until they actually get frames back in stock. They're actually out of stock at Horizon Hobbies, so oh well. Snap the arm.
Of which one?
The Blade Nano.
Oh, the little itty bitty one?
No, that's a different story too, but that's... Actually, I turn my camera on after I stop screen sharing. It's the one that had this canopy. I broke the canopy, and
Oh, really?
as you can see,
Oh, that's the one with real flexible arms that's supposed to be basically indestructible.
yeah, but when you're learning to flip, you expect to break them. I just didn't expect it to break on an easy crash. That's how I always seem to break these, is like on the soft landings. There's no way you can fix this either, so... Oh well. And I'm not worried about the canopy. I just have that on there because, well, it's on there.
Okay.
And I gotta do a soldering job.
Jeez. You're so damn hard on those.
This actually was coming in just for a landing in the grass. And it had just a little bit of forward flight, and something in the grass caught it and took it right off. This wasn't a crash. Actually, I didn't crash this.
Well,
I just couldn't believe it pulled it out. I was like, holy crap. As I said, I break these on the easy stuff. You know, a 10-foot drop broke the frame. I dropped this thing from 30 feet onto gravel, and all it did was, you know, snap the arms here.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix. That's just a little solder.
Oh, man. I don't know why I'm tired. I haven't done shit all day.
Yeah, and I hung that 180 up in trees 3 times today.
I haven't even flown my quad in forever. Probably been, I don't know, several weeks.
Today I have no excuses for how crappy I was flying. Just at the trees, decided to jump out and catch a quad. I mean, max gust was about 7 miles an hour.
Yeah, today was windy, so it would have been bad for flying. I basically stayed inside and loaded up probably 1,500, 1,700 9mm for practice and matches.
If somebody was actually, because where I'm flying, that's really close to a gun range, probably a gun range.
Yeah.
And somebody was out there with full auto.
Good deal.
And I tried to capture it with my quad, but you couldn't see anything. It was just too far away.
I think it would have been cool is if you would have flown over there.
Yeah, I'm pushing the range. I was up over 300 feet today.
Oh yeah, that's pushing it.
Yeah, considering I couldn't see it anymore. I knew which way it was pointing just because there was no wind.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't touching the controller, just straight up throttle. And I was up there, and I'm like, okay, can't
Yeah,
see it anymore. It
time to
was
come
just
back.
literally a dot.
Yeah, and then no matter if you had lights telling you what orientation it was, that wouldn't help.
Oh, not today. It's way too bright to even see LEDs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was just too far as well.
Yeah, a return to home or GPS would have been awesome,
I bet so.
or even an altitude hold.
Yeah, but of course, that you start getting into more electronics and.
You can get an altitude hold. RC Logger, which is RC Logger is a manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a altitude hold for less than $150 for a brushless quad. And if people don't know, I know we're talking quads here, and it's not a quad chat, but difference between brushed and brushless is brushless have higher performance and they last longer. And normally what we have is like coreless, which is a brushed motor.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about anymore because I haven't researched into different
It's
type
one of
motors.
the cheapest production brushless quads you can buy, and it's extremely good, extremely modular. And this thing, for less than $150, will carry a GoPro.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it's not much bigger than my Blade 180.
That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've been reading up on it, and it's a mini quad. It's not a micro.
Uh-huh.
Like the Hubson's a micro.
Oh,
So for a mini quad, it's awesome.
so Walt came in. How's it going, Walt?
What's everybody doing?
We're doing good. Just shooting the shit before G starts up. If he starts up, I think he said he was going to do something tonight. So
Good deal.
yeah. So what's on your mind?
And nothing much. I was trying to get my Hangouts to work, and I got it to work. Damn.
Got your what to work?
My Hangouts.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had trouble with that damn thing, and I got it to work, and it's like, yay.
All right, I put a link in the internal for you.
Yeah, for some weird reason,
I'll put it in the external just in case anybody's interested in looking at it.
for some weird reason, the internet, my Google web page isn't working. So paste go. Sorry if I open up a new one. See if that helps.
I don't feel bad. My shit never works.
I don't know what's going on. I can. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think my web page is working at all. Hangouts is, but that's about it. Shut down everything else. Well, this computer's been sucking dick lately. Not quite sure what's going on. But yeah. Not quite sure. So, Walt, tell us something about yourself. What guns do you fancy? Calibers, pistols, rifles, shotguns? What do you like?
Well, actually, I just bought a PW87 because I just wanted one, and I just bought another Glock. I bought a Glock 29. That's my like everyday carry now.
Glock 29, is that what caliber? Is that a
10
40?
millimeter.
10?
Yeah, just in case someone's got a heavy forehead. And
How do you like shooting that?
I haven't got to shoot it yet, unfortunately. I bought a Glock 20 and I bought a Glock 29 both, and I haven't got to the range with them.
Are they both 10 mil or?
Those are both 10 mil. Yeah, I'm trying to like finish my Glock collection. I just ordered a Glock 43. I had one come in, but they wanted like $600 for it, and I told them no. So I just ordered a Glock 43, and I'm getting it for like $480, and that'll bring me up to 10 Glocks. So I'm pretty happy with my Glock collection right now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So do you plan on carrying the 29, or you just want to have it?
That's what I'm carrying right now is my 29.
Oh, and I didn't hear what you said. Did you say you've shot in it or not yet?
No, I have not shot it yet. No.
Okay.
I figure if I can't hit nothing with it, it'll burn the hair off of something.
Yeah.
But I've never had problem with when I shoot my Glocks. Any problem with them like operating?
Oh no.
I'll get it to the range here shortly and put some rounds through it.
I would be very surprised if you had any mechanical issues. I was thinking more in terms of recoil.
I bought one of those Ruger Alaskan 44 Magnums, and that kicked like hell, and I cried. Okay, I did cry, but I was okay with it.
But you're honest, Walt, and that's important.
Yeah, I did cry, but I could shoot it.
And you figure, after a couple of shots of 10 millimeter, you really shouldn't need to shoot it anymore.
I would hope.
Well, after a couple shots of anything, you shouldn't need to shoot it anymore. Or hopefully.
You've been watching way too much of like the things on TV. Way too much.
No, I just hope that if that ever happens, I only have to shoot at one person.
Well,
yeah.
I've shot myself once, and I know a bullet don't take you down quick, so it's kind of scary.
It will or won't?
It won't.
So where did you put the round in yourself?
In my leg. I did a Tex Grebner.
I got you. Now, what was it, a FMJ or was it hollow point?
22 Magnum, hollow point.
No.
But it went through like my thigh, behind my kneecap, and it didn't hurt at all until like a few hours later, and then you think a truck hit me.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, that taught me something, I guess. Besides being stupid.
Well, I mean, we're all susceptible to that 2-second, close call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had a close call in shooting myself. I just put it around through my wall whenever I was tired one night.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been fortunate as far as, all of that stuff is concerned, yet I don't consider myself idiot-proof.
Oh, heck
no. Nobody is.
Exactly. I mean, just
as soon as they say, hey, that will never happen to me, get away from them because it'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I tried to take that view as just because I've never shot the wall or shot myself or anything like that doesn't mean I won't have that 2 seconds of oh shit.
Yep. And in my case, it was a couple years ago, and I took a training class, about an hour and a half north of here, and I was practicing my draws after it, and my gun was empty, and then I went and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and danger it up. Well, now I say danger up, but back then I just said I'm gonna go ahead and load it. And then I sat back down, watched another TV show. I'm like, I'm gonna try this one more time before I go to bed. Drew, press the trigger. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when I was
Well, nobody got hurt, and
Nope.
and you learned that ultimately we're all vulnerable to that human error.
Yep.
yeah when I was in college, I took a hunter safety course. It was for the police science, and of course, I shot 22 pretty much all my life. I'm thinking, shit, I'm way up on these folks. I get down. They only let you put one bullet in a gun at a time. And I'm standing up, acting cocky. Everyone else is down, laying in a prone position shooting. And they can hit their target, but me, Mr. Cocky, I'm shooting down range, and I misfire. I let my gun fire before it was supposed to. I felt like such an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens to everybody. You got your finger on a trigger, the damn gun can go off.
Yep.
You look stupid, and it's like I learned from that though.
Yeah, I mean, as long as no one gets hurt whenever negligent discharges happen, just as long as you learn from it and no one gets hurt, it's not a bad deal because you learned from it. And then if you talk to people, tell them about it, and hopefully they learn from your mistakes and go on.
Well,
that's how I look at anything.
Yeah, I've had a couple of them, and I've kind of learned through the years. Anybody can screw up.
Yep.
Keep the finger off the trigger till you want to destroy what's in front of you, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Like an ex of mine, her grandfather was shooting his 7mm Magnum, and he actually went to clean it, and he pulled the trigger, not realizing that he still had one in the trigger or still one in the chamber, and it went through his entire house. And his wife was actually walking in the room next to him, and it went, we think, between her legs.
Wow.
So, like down around her, right like mid calf.
Guys, since you've been around guns a long time, anybody tells me they're cleaning their guns and they have bullets in it, there's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I mean, he just started to clean it, and he dropped the magazine, and he just thought that he didn't have a round in the chamber and didn't check.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah. I mean, guns. I mean, with anything, you have to be careful.
Yeah, I brought my son over. I haven't seen him for 8 years, and he got in my gun safe, and I couldn't let him touch any guns because I'm one of them kind of folks. It's like today I'm carrying this gun, tomorrow I'm carrying this gun. What goes good with the shoes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, yeah. All right, gay, whatever. And and I couldn't let him touch the guns, and I started opening these guns up, and they're all loaded. I'm like, shit. So I started like unloading them after he left. And God, it took me 2 hours to get everything put away. It's crazy.
So, Walt, the guns that you go through, that you said you have a handful or more of guns that you carry, on a semi-regular basis. Do they all have the same basic manual of arms, or do you carry different guns with different manual of arms?
I mostly carried a Glock, but
okay.
I know Glocks work, and and unfortunately a lot of them I haven't got to shoot yet, but I'm taking a chance. But I'd rather take a chance with a Glock than my Berettas or my Sig Sauers. I haven't shot them yet, so I usually carry a Glock. My Glock 36 I've shot many times, but something in my head tells me, oh, today you need to carry like 17 rounds, or you need to carry 15 rounds. Don't ask me why.
I'm thinking more in terms of, one day a gun without a manual safety, the next day a gun with a manual safety. That's what I mean by manual of arms.
Well, I don't carry all my guns. I carry, and I'll just be quite honest, it's either a revolver or it's a Glock. I mean, I have a lot of different handguns, but I don't want to carry complications when I'm carrying. I want to carry something you pull out of the holster and you fire it.
Right. And that's what those two guns, you know, revolver and a Glock have in common.
Yeah.
You pull the trigger and it goes boom.
And that's kind of what you want, because everybody that thinks that they've been through it, I don't care if you've been in a war. I mean, if you carry a 1911, that can screw you up when it comes down to the shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a Glock guy, I guess.
There's nothing to be gay like that.
Yeah, well,
I'm just messing with you.
Well, you know, Chris would be the one best to speak to this, but
Wait, what?
well, I'm about to say something, and I was just going to say that you would be the best to speak to what I'm about to say that I haven't said yet.
All
It
right.
is, I'm assuming they tell you weapons hot as far as your platoon sergeant or whoever's in charge of your squad, basically telling everybody to take the weapon off safe. When you're on your own concealed carrying, you are that person. There's no one to remind you to make it hot.
Well, I mean,
Is
making it hot doesn't necessarily. Are you talking about on the range? Or are you talking about in real life? Hey, Bob.
hey,
I'm talking about like when you were overseas and when you were on patrol.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have anything to do with taking it on and off safe. That would have more to do with having, you leave the fence and you load your rifle, but you leave it on safe. You don't take it off safe. It's up to you to determine when it's time to shoot and not shoot.
So when you would leave what I'm going to call whatever is defined as the safe zone, it would not be common practice to necessarily take it off a safe?
No, hell no. You'll end up shooting your fucking guy standing next to you. No, you always have your weapon. Your rifle's always on safe, round in chamber, ready to go. And that'd be like walking around with a 1911 off safe.
and that's way different than like carrying a double action off, and there is no safety. I mean, you really got to yank on a double action instead of, like a AR is like single action. You pull that trigger, it's one off easy.
Yeah, you don't walk around with a
You don't walk around with your finger on the trigger.
Well, you also don't walk around with the safety off. You'll end up shooting somebody by
No,
accident.
and that's the thing. It's different.
Yeah, Glock. You can't really compare a Glock or double actions. Bob. Jesus Christ. I know you're dying, but seriously, man.
Oh, he's dying again? Bob, damn you.
Anyway, no, it's not. I mean, a revolver.
Oh, Bob, come on.
A revolver or a Glock is not the same thing as like a AR-15 or an AK M4 or a AK. You can't. You have a safety for a reason. The reason is you can you only have a 3.5, well, 5-pound trigger. It can easily go off.
Well, and that's why I said you'd be the best one to answer that question.
Yeah, you definitely don't walk around. If you walk around with your weapon off safe, you're gonna get an ass beating.
Yeah.
Because the odds of you accidentally having an accidental discharges are through the roof at that point.
That's even with us with double action. They teach you not to have your finger on the trigger until you want to destroy what's in front of the gun. So, I mean, it's not a safety, but if you're trained, that's the way it is. And if you don't do that, you're foolish.
I can't even tell you how much time. You just spend, we do these ready up drills, is what we call them. We just stand there in front of a target and just practice, like, acquiring target, flipping off safe. Whether we were doing it hot or cold was dependent on the range, and we just sit there and do that for hours and a day after day. Like, I mean, that was a common. If we had a time to burn and we didn't have a hot range, we'd just go and do basically dry fire drills, ready up drills, just like
Well,
You'd have
that's a
to
good
face away
example
from the target. You'd face the side of it. You would turn, acquire your target, flip your rifle off safe, and dry fire. And we just do that over and over. And you practice for that.
that would be a good example of muscle memory and defaulting to your level of what you do repetitively.
Yeah, and that's the muscle memory of bringing the rifle up, flipping it off safe, acquiring, the muscle memory of sighting, to where you can
Right.
snap, where to the point where you can snap shoot at like 50 meters without having to really try to aim.
Right.
Now, do you still, whenever you bring up your rifle and take it down, is it still muscle memory?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I mean, I don't do it like I used to, but I'm sure if I sat down and actually did it, I'd do it exactly the same.
Oh, we died.
It's your fault.
No, it's not. Quit it.
Yeah, you just wouldn't listen to me.
Well, that's
Well,
good.
Bob,
You
Bob,
wanna
the
listen
little
to you
works.
freaking stumbling around with your mic on fucking hot mic, dude.
Keep your mic out of your pants.
It sounds like
Oh,
you were trying to
please.
Hey, is that fun? Wait a minute. It's
And then
my
actually
whole
put your
iPad in my
speakers
pants.
in there and they vibrate.
Wow.
So I got my new handgun in the mail today.
Now, let me guess, a Browning.
No, actually no, it's a Italian copy of a Colt Thunderer.
So it's a high point.
High Point.
No, it's a fucking single action cowboy gun.
Hey, quit cussing. We got like sensitive ears and shit.
What brand? Is it a Uberti or something?
Piata?
Piata.
Something like that.
Hell,
Nice gun.
This is not a Norinco.
No.
Hey, I had a Norinco back in the day. I wish I had a couple now.
Oh yeah, Norinco makes good guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing's pretty nice. 357 Magnum, so goes with everything else. Neat grip. It's got like the bird's head grip on it. I really like that. Here, see if I can.
Oh, damn, Bob, you shaved your beard off. Scared the shit out of me.
I shave it off occasionally. So, yeah.
every summer.
Yep, that's a nice little piece, though. It was so cool to get it in the mail. With no trigger lock on it, you're going, wait a minute, now I can't transport my gun to the gun range without a trigger lock. Comes in a cardboard box, nice and secure. Weird shit. But very cool. Yeah, so I can't wait to get this thing out to the range. I mean, nice. Feels real good. We'll see what that little grip's like, though, because I can barely get 3 fingers around it.
Yeah, most of my Glocks are like that.
Yeah. And this thing's heavy enough, the recoil shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, neat little gun. A lot smaller than my Blackhawk, that's for sure.
Yankee just had a thing up with the Sig Sauer P224. Now I want one of them damn things.
Yeah, that's why you have to watching videos, because you watch them and then you go, oh, I want one of those.
Yeah, I do that too much. Yeah, that's how I ended up with that PW87, that shotgun that Century Arms put out. I just bought one.
Oh, yeah.
I seen it. I had to have it.
Yeah. I hear that, man. No, as soon as I saw these Colt replicas, I was just like, oh, that looks too badass. Got to buy one. They're cheap. It's like $500.
I have no Colts. I have to get a Colt.
Yeah. Colt makes good guns. I really never thought of them for the single action stuff until I saw this and went, well, damn, that looked good. I just really like the bird's head grip. It just.
Well, I had a Glock Python. It was 38 special target only.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got rid of it like a moron.
A Python.
A Python, yeah. Well,
Oh, those are so nice.
yeah, well, I got rid of it. I wish I wouldn't have, but I did.
And you guy had one of the Diamondbacks. That's a little 22 rimfire versions.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a sweet shooting gun. You could it's so accurate. 6-inch barrel, and it was like shooting a rifle. For range and stuff.
I have 222s now, but I like the big booms, I guess.
Yeah, well, I kind of got spoiled by my 357. It was like, oh, that looks so cool. When you light it off and you get this big fireball comes out the barrel.
Sorry, I was away from the computer, but you don't think of Colt for single action revolvers?
I didn't.
Colt,
No, I
single
didn't
action
really.
army?
Well, not Colt. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, I just never thought of this Thunderer, It's a different version of a Colt, I guess. It's just one I always think of the cowboy gun, the what is it, the 1873 or whatever. Your standard Colt cowboy gun.
That's the only thing I don't own. I want to get one someday.
Hmm.
Colt would be nice, but it'll probably be a Ruger.
Yeah, well, I like my Ruger. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really like the sights on it and everything are so nice. Like you could hunt with that thing. This I don't think you really want to hunt with unless you're going to ride up beside the deer and shoot it. But rudimentary sights on them. But man, it handles so nice, and it's just so handy with that little grip instead of that great big spade thing that they have on the regular Colt.
Yeah, the Ruger I have, it doesn't handle, I won't say nice. It kicks pretty good.
Yeah, well, mine will, like after 50 rounds, your hand starts to get a little tough. So I'm thinking this thing's going to be a little worse.
I don't think I'd fire 50 rounds through my Ruger. I would be hurting.
Is yours 44?
44 Magnum, the Alaskan.
Yeah, that would, yeah. My brother's got a 44 Magnum he uses for steel shooting, and even with a 12-inch barrel on it, that thing is just, with full house loads, it frickin' stings.
Yeah, I've shot like, I filled it up twice and shot it. That's enough.
Mm. Oh, I don't know how my brother does it, because he'll shoot those silhouette steels, and he'll like shoot 75, 100 rounds through it, eh? And he's shooting hot hand loads, right? Because he wants to make sure he can put the rams down at whatever it is, 100 yards.
Well,
but, crap.
I'm old. If I even look through 100 to 200 rounds, my old eyes just give up and everything's blurry, so it's not even worth wasting the ammo.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you there.
Not like these young pups up here. They can shoot a whole bunch, and I get blurry-eyed after like 250 rounds.
Yeah, I've never had that problem, but I just get my hands start to get sore, well, I used to work in a lumber yard, but I mean, a lot of those calluses have gone away now, and they were in the wrong spots.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday I put a little over 400 rounds down my CZ.
That's because you're a stud.
Well, we all know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can shoot Browning all day. I can like put hundreds of rounds through the Browning because it don't really recoil. It's semi-automatic, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you reload your own for like 9 cents a round, you don't have to exactly pay much for it.
Very true.
Even if I reloaded my own rounds, I couldn't put that many through because my old eyes would give up.
Yep. Well, when you get old, it sucks.
Yeah, well, it does. But, however, if you get old, you know, you've made it through this far, and the rest of them are just trying to catch up.
Well, that's true.
And no
Yeah.
matter what happens, we'll keep on catching up until that
Eventually,
day.
you'll die as well.
Yeah.
But when y'all catch up, you know, it's like, you're just like, hey, them old fuckers were right.
No, we already know those old fuckers are right.
Yeah. Well, it's called experience. Like I
No,
say,
it's
you
called being
finally
old.
get enough experience, and then you die.
Well, you can't have too much experience, then you can, like, rule the world. They got to stop you.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I can't wait for the day they can put our brains in robot bodies.
I wouldn't want that.
No shit, Bob. When you leave,
Oh,
Bob,
hell
I
yeah,
want you to
man.
take your brain with you.
Rule the world, live forever.
Oh, hell no.
Well, it depends on how good the robot body. I'm not talking like something with tracks or anything. I'm talking like something that's just about like a human body.
We all know if you had a robot body, it'd be made by freaking Norinco.
Well, at least it would work, and parts would be cheap.
I see some porn movies like that, Bob. You're okay. You can do that.
But yeah, I can't wait to take this thing out to the range, man. It really feels good in the hand. I don't know. I'm going to decide whether I like this grip or not. It's real old school, though. You got to go with a half cock thing, and not like the Ruger at all. Yeah, this one for sure I only can put 5 rounds in. Freaking got a really nice trigger, though. It's just, I got to get a trigger scale, because I don't think that's much more than a couple of pounds. So what else is going on? Anybody doing anything fun or?
Not today.
Editing videos because I took a whole bunch while I was out flying my quads.
Yeah, we saw them. So like, should be just Quark crashing quads.
You ever gonna invest in a larger quad, Quark, like one of those race quads or something?
I'm actually looking at the RC Logger quads right now. They make a little bit. They make up to a 460 size. That's
You should get one
460 millimeters from motor to motor.
I'll see if I can find a video I watched a few weeks ago of some guys in San Francisco in like a burnt out like industrial district racing quads through the buildings.
FPV.
Yeah, I want to see one where quad can ride on it. Quark can ride on the quad.
Yeah.
They are made.
It's called that largest Russian helicopter that barely gets off the ground with me in it.
Yeah, no, I've seen those. They'll actually carry a yacht over the mountains.
Oh, I haven't seen those. I've seen one that kind of looks like a speed racer from Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, the 650 is the biggest one.
But they do make one now that's, I think, an 8-blade electric helicopter that people can ride on. Looks terrifying to me. If you fell off, you're going to get shredded.
Bob, mute yourself for fuck's sake.
Oh, you don't like to hear that gun clicking?
Not in stereo, Jesus Christ.
It's a prototype, but I'll go ahead and share this.
Yeah, the 650 is nice, but it's $400 and it's a lot of money.
Here you go. It's a prototype, and that is scaled down. But this is what they're trying to do. a quadcopter motorcycle.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So you
That
come
would be
down on
fun.
top of somebody. Oh, that would be so messy. Can you imagine?
Hey, Quirk. This
What?
is your quad.
Oh,
He turned his.
and he turned his
Wait,
dead
hold
cat
on.
into a quadcopter.
Yep.
That's awesome. I need to get rid of this advertisement. Hold on.
They're gonna make you watch that video.
For 5 seconds. Yep. Alright. That is kind of awesome.
Is that a flying
Isn't it?
cat?
Well, yeah, he turned his dead cat into a quad.
That's a dead cat?
Yes.
Taxidermy.
Well, if you used a live cat, Dano, I'm pretty sure that would be considered cruelty to animals to stretch one out on a quadcopter frame.
Well, it's just kind of gross to skin the cat you knew.
What?
I
I
mean,
know
it's
people who have dead
If it was
cats.
a stray cat.
Roy Rogers had his horse stuffed, for God's sakes, and that was
Well, Roy
triggered.
Rogers was fucked in the head.
Oh, please,
You don't
he
take
was
your-
a hero.
You don't take your own pet and skin it.
Well, he probably didn't.
Why wouldn't
Well, I don't know. That's crazy.
Ah, I mean, you know what? If you
That
had
would
two
be-
big fat cats, they would make really good bookends on a shelf. You know, you could just have them sitting there and one on either end of the books. It'd look kind of cool.
Yeah. And
And
by
then
the
you
way,
could-
I don't think I'm into the whole photography air part of it. I think I like the first-person view stuff, so that's what I'm looking at. So it would be more into that racing stuff.
Yeah, but don't you have to run after the quadcopter when you do that, though, Quark?
No,
Really?
no. You just gotta be in range of the transmitter. If you're first person doing it, first-person view, you got a video camera sending you the image right back to, if you're wearing
understand that, but also they seem to
or
be very short-ranged.
100 yards or so for the most part, but you can do better than that if you upgrade and stuff like that. So you're not flying miles and miles away. It's a little bit easier on planes than quads because you can do a bigger plane that can carry more weight.
Yeah, that's true.
With quads, you get every gram counts.
Well, yeah. Quads is a little tougher for them. They can't move any of their extremities.
Especially if it's a dead cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a quadriplegic cat, it's going to suck.
Yeah, I'm either gonna build my own tricopter or buy another quad.
You should try to build one, man. Just get a piece of rigid styrofoam insulation an inch thick. You use that as your frame, and then all you got to do is put your motors in there and put tilt mechanisms on them and stuff.
Hell, you could build your own car then.
Yeah. Well, the tricopters are basically built with they've got a wood frame or a carbon frame, and then they use for the arms just use spruce.
Hmm?
I think. Is it spruce?
Styrofoam
No.
glider. I've built like a whole bunch of gliders and delta wings and stuff out of styrofoam, and it works really well. And it's real cheap. That's a big thing too.
They're using. No, they use it.
That should really interest you, Quark. I said the secret C word.
I think it is spruce. Ooh, it's driving me crazy.
They didn't like your Roy Rogers insulting.
All right, guys, I have to work in the morning. I gotta cut you loose.
All right, man.
See you, Walt. Thanks for joining.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you do, eh?
Well, I figured out why those Oilers were so cheap. I didn't realize it was a plastic bottle.
Yeah, so
Well, I mean, if I'm going to get one, I
get the brass one then.
didn't see the brass one.
I'll try to find a link. There you can find them.
Well, I'll do a search there.
They're exactly the same pouch. It's just the plastic ones are more correct to the era that you're looking for. The brass ones are a little earlier.
Okay.
What year?
I mean, if they actually had plastic ones in the early 70s, that'd be fine. I just didn't think they did.
Yeah, 70s, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's when plastic first started to get popular.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was
That's
also
when Tupperware was made.
Yeah.
it was also
Hey,
the
I
Eastern
gotta
Bloc.
jump. Guys, talk to y'all later. Eh?
I mean, there's a reason
Good
it's
day,
called the West versus the East. The East was always 20 to 30 years behind the West.
I have a brass one. I'm buying another brass one because they're super nice. I'm gonna get the plastic one just because I like to collect this crap. But as far as my Yugo setup, like I'm gonna probably run one of them through the sling on that pouch that I had you buy, just because it seems like it's a little bit more out of the way.
Right.
And I mean, if I had a salad stock, then it kind of makes sense to have it on the rifle because then you have the cleaning kit and the cleaning kit and the
Boiler and everything.
everything in the same place. But since you can't do that with the underfolder, what doesn't really matter.
Well, that was one nice thing about that pouch is you can put the cleaning kit in that mag pouch.
And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that's what I have my Bulgarian one set up like that where I have it all on the pouch, the cleaning kit, the oiler, everything's like stored in there with magazines. I'm gonna do the same with my Yugo setup.
I also put, it's just for display, I guess, but there's a little secondary slot that's a little deeper. I put my magazine, or my grenade spigot down the other one.
Yeah, I mean for display purposes, yeah, that's the way to go. I mean, why not?
It's not like I'm going to be using it.
I have a bunch of weird random cleaning stuff from Yugoslavia. I have like a pull through cleaner instead of the rod. It's like the British style with the rope that you pull it through, which is pretty cool. I mean, I have a bunch of random stuff, but
I got a question for you, Chris. I was at the Army surplus store in the town about 30 miles from me today, and it's a relatively new store, and they have cases of MREs in there, and they don't look the same as what I remember them being. But that's because it's 35 years ago.
There's like civilian ones now that are I have no idea. Like I haven't seen the real ones in a long time either, so you're not the only person.
Well, the question I was going to ask is, I could have swore there was either a date manufactured or a no later than date. But these didn't have any date information at all.
Jesus, honestly, I tried to ignore MREs as much as I could, considering how many of them I had to eat. I think it was on the box, but I can't remember. I don't remember there being an expiration date because they technically don't expire.
Okay,
I guess they don't expire. Fuck if I know.
I mean, I thought they had, and I may be wrong, which is why I'm asking you, is I thought they were either 20, 25 years, something like that.
Yeah. Well, the ones I've been seeing, like the civilian ones, they come in like clear plastic, and they're very obviously not the military ones. The military ones in my time came in there were the older ones from probably closer to your era that were a dark brown.
Right.
And then they changed them. They were like a light brown, almost like
like diarrhea color.
No, there's like a light brown, and for lack of a better term, they're like kind of a tan or flesh, like mannequin color almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. That's what these look like.
And then I don't know, and I think they changed them again, but at that point, I wasn't. I don't remember. I mean, honestly, like this is a long time ago for me. But yeah, the clear ones are the strictly civilian ones. God damn it.
So the other question I had for you is they also just started carrying old GI mags that don't have the anti-tilt follower.
Yeah,
Uh, when you were in, were they still issuing ones that did not have the anti-tilt follower?
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. That's almost all what we had. And then it was up to
Okay.
us at that point to upgrade our shit if we wanted to.
Right.
And with the anti-tilt followers, I mean, I wasn't in the military or anything, but from what I've read, is the only time that there's really an issue is full auto. Is that correct?
The only time I ever saw the follower, I mean, Addict Up Magazine was Addict Up Magazine, and from what I saw, it was usually it wasn't the follower that would fail, it was the body of them would just get beat, like, the tack weld to come loose, or they'd just get effed up. Like, I never really saw the follower being an issue. Sometimes the springs seem kind of a little bit worse for the
Right.
wear.
It's just there are three things that can cause it from feeding properly. Obviously, you have the body that holds it together, you have the spring, and then you have the follower. Any of which, because the follower can get wedged in, and then it won't flow to the top properly as you're shooting. The spring will not decompress, evenly and smoothly. And obviously, as Chris mentioned, if you have a ding or a deformed container that's housing the spring, that'll do the same thing.
Now, are they still issuing the aluminum mags?
I don't know.
Or I mean, when you're still in the military.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, when I first joined, okay, like you would occasionally see like a 20 round magazine kicking around. And we'd be like, oh, check this out. It'd be like it's something cool at the bottom of somebody's drawer or something. I mean, there were, you see. I remember in basic, we were like cleaning out this like closet, this like well, it wasn't a closet, it was like a room where they kept a lot of the gear, and we found a box of old like Colt with Colt base plates and metal follower, like 20 round M16 magazines, and so like that stuff like there is no expiration date because they'll just be like a box here, a box. You know what I mean? There always is like old stuff kicking around. Even when the new stuff goes, the old stuff will still be like there, unless the old stuff was so faulty that it was like a problem. But if they're just upgrading and the old stuff is still good, you'll still see the old stuff often.
Yeah, because
And
I
I mean,
mean,
all you had to do is just like replace the springs, and if we had a bad one, we just get like, we could order springs online or we could do whatever and just replace the springs. I never bothered replacing the followers, and then we'd do a ranger, we'd ranger plate them, which is like when you run a piece of 550 cord through the base plate and tape around it, so that you could get a hold of them and yank them out of your pouches easier. And then we're good to go. And I had this like brush that I got with my 240 that was like the perfect size to like scrub out the inside. You take the magazines apart, scrub them out, because you'd find fucking old magazines with like dirt and shit inside of them. How much were the mags, Dana?
Oh, they were overpriced. They were like $21.95.
No, screw that.
Yeah.
for what mags?
Uh, M16 mags or AR-15 mags.
Yeah, that's crazy. For the aluminum ones?
Uh, so I'm trying to think if they were aluminum or not now.
Yeah, they probably were. I have a huge box of them still.
I want to say they were.
If you can find them for like $5 a piece, they're worth it, because then you
Oh
buy like
yeah.
the updated spring and then throw them in there and they're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then the spring costs you a buck or two.
I would you can even buy them with the follower, like it's like a reef, like I think I want to say Magpul maybe sells a kit where it's a follower and a new spring, and you
Yeah.
can just pull them out and update it all.
Yeah, but then by the time you buy the mag and then you do that, you are right about the price of a PMag.
Yeah, but I don't know.
A PMag is not the same.
I think about the
Oh.
only thing where the GI Mag kind of like outdoes the PMag is just on the size, because they are a little bit smaller in dimension because they can be a thinner material. So if you have like a triple mag pouch, the GI mags fit in like a triple mag pouch much better than the PMags. The PMags you gotta stuff them in there. I like GI mags. I don't really use them that often, but I have like 40 of them, so and I don't ever plan on selling them. And if I had to use them, I wouldn't be scared to use them.
Because I have new like aluminum mags, like from like C mags or whatever.
I don't really like CMag all that much. I try to stick to the GI manufacturers.
Yeah, I just have. I think I only have 2 of those, and I can only fit 25 rounds in it.
Really? Or
Yeah.
CMag?
Yeah.
Yeah, CMags are weird. Occasionally, like you'll see like a sale on like some random website, like Bravo Company or something, and there'll be like USGI mags, like 10-pack or 100-pack, and they'll be like $8. Well, I haven't seen it in a while, but they'd be like $8. They'd round up, they'd come out to be about $8 and $9 a piece,
Mm-hmm.
which is and if you see that kind of deal for 10 of them, fucking do it because you're getting if they're Army contract magazines, and they're going to be a decent quality, but if there ever becomes another Magman, you're going to be glad that you spent $8 for like, not for a quality magazine. I mean, better quality than Tapco or some shit, or
Yeah.
Pro Mag or some shit like that.
Whenever I buy AK mags, I wait till SGMO has the 10-pack for like $79, and I'll
Hell
pick
yeah.
up 1 or 2 of those.
Well, I got an oil bottle and pouch set on the way.
Which one did you get? The plastic one?
Yeah, you twisted my arm. You convinced me that it was reasonably authentic. So
I'll find you a brass. The brass ones are beautiful. Like I don't even know if they're brass, but I'm
don't
looking.
find me one now. Now that I got the plastic one. I mean, they're just gonna make me full of regret.
All right, then. Well, dude, Dano, you're becoming a collector. You have to have both eventually. Not right now, but like I'll remind you like next month that you need to get the brass one.
Yeah, I mean, now I got like a little over $20 to the end of the week.
Jesus. You're the easiest person I've ever had to peer pressure because I didn't even try to.
Hey, Dano, welcome to the club of being broke.
I'm not broke. I got $20.
Well,
That's more than Quark.
eventually I'll
After today, yeah.
eventually I'll take a photo of when I get my NPAP. I'll take a photo of all this Yugoslavian crap together. Try to make a nice photo. I've actually been online reading about this 63rd parachute battalion from Yugoslavia and Serbia, because they're the guys that would have been using that rifle.
Right.
They have been looking at some cool patches on eBay of their unit patch. I'm like,
Have you thought about? I mean, since you have a lot of individual stuff as well as complete stuff, having like an Instagram account?
That's actually I was hoping that they were going to do a camera chat where they were going to talk about photography for taking photos, and but it never came to fruition. But I want to purchase a decent camera because I'm constantly around stuff that I want to take photos of, like those aircraft that I'm occasionally posting stuff about.
Oh,
if I get a
good.
decent camera, and now that my collection is actually starting to fill out with like, like I'm starting to be able to like get like, because the market's really good right now, so I'm able to find these like, the holster I was never able to find before, or the patch or the bayonet that I wasn't able to find. So yeah, eventually that's where I want to go, is start Instagramming some of this stuff all together.
Yeah, I mean, talk to Gwebs. Maybe he would do a university chat.
So we actually did talk about it, but it never did get around to doing it. But
Okay.
I'm sure eventually it'll happen.
Because there's a lot of things that I know very little about other than through trial and error, like lighting tips, like natural lighting versus artificial lighting. Using certain color backgrounds with if you have because a lot of items are dark colors.
Well, now
Whether
that
it's black, brown, or whatever.
well, since he added the Instagram feed on gun channels, and like, we got some people that are really way more savvy at Instagram that are part of the community now. I was hoping that we could have a discussion about cameras and lighting. And
Right.
my roommate also has been wanting, because he does a lot of eBay stuff, so he wanted to upgrade his camera and build like a little miniature photo studio in our house so he could take better pictures. But he's got like an expensive setup, and I don't want to spend that kind of money. So
Right. But I don't have enough to participate in that kind of chat, but I'd certainly be interested in listening to it. But I think my impression is that a lot of it is not necessarily the technology. It's knowing the other parts, like I mentioned, the lighting, natural lighting versus artificial lighting.
yeah.
And then having the right color background so that your item doesn't get, like a black rifle doesn't blend into the background, sort of a thing.
There's a lot of cool, easy things you can do with just literally just a roll of butcher paper, where you roll the paper out. You have it on a roll. You have the paper on a roll, and you can either tape it to the wall or whatever, and you just you let it like flow down so it doesn't have a hard angle. It's like a smooth. It makes a smooth like transition, and so you don't have a corner.
Yeah,
So
like a skate ramp.
yeah, like a skate ramp, so it catches light really well, and then you have that white background, you see in every photo with no scene, it looks like it's kind of floating there.
Those are the things that I don't know that I would like to know that don't necessarily require a $300 camera.
Yeah, yeah.
It just
Yeah,
requires the knowledge.
I've done
I will
stuff
say
like,
this. A guy was taking basically art quality pictures with, what was it, an iPhone 3? I'm
just
serious.
well, no, I believe you. Just with good lighting, is that how he's doing it?
Good lighting and knowing how to use the phone camera properly. It was a lot of nature stuff. Was it One Tree or Lone Tree or something like that?
Nice. Yeah, I need to get into that because I have a decent collection going on, and I want to start documenting some things.
Yeah, I mean, lighting and lighting I think is the most important thing, but color and everything else can be corrected post production.
Yeah.
That's what Photoshop and imaging editing software is for.
Yeah.
But you need a good picture to start off with, and I always say the more light you have, the better. And learning about backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's so easy to take a picture on white. Try taking a picture on black. You'll find yourself in a world of hurt pretty quick.
Yeah. I need to get like a spreadsheet so I can keep track of all this random fucking army crap I have.
Break out Excel.
I was like, I pulled out my this AK bayonet, and I don't even know what kind of bayonet it is. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? I'm like looking at it, like, okay, I know this one over here is my Yugo. I have no idea. I don't know. I was going to ask somebody, but I think I can just find it if I look online. I can just go through enough photos. It doesn't have any markings except for serial number.
Send it over to G. He'll probably be able to tell you in a second.
Yeah. But then how will I learn?
True.
My only bayonet book is by country. It's not by type. So going through, I'd have to go through it from cover to cover to try to figure out, and it may not be in that book because that book covers everything from the past 200 years.
Yeah, the only thing I have bayonet-wise is Bulgarian and then a Polish. And that's it for my two AK-74s.
I don't have a bayonet, period.
Well, then what the fuck, Cork?
Somebody wants to send me one, I'll take one, but I have no urge to go and buy one.
I might have an extra. I don't know.
You get an extra what?
I don't know. I gotta look around. I'm not giving him one of my nice ones. I mean, I might have an extra AK bayonet that I don't want, like a duplicate.
I had a Yugo and I ended up selling it.
So, Chris, is there any easy way I can tell if the AK bayonet I have, what country of origin it came from?
That is definitely a Gwebs question because, like I was saying, I was just looking at the one I have, and I'm not even sure which country it's from. I have a Yugo one. I know it's Yugo, but that's because I know it's Yugo. This other one I have, I think, might be Bulgarian, but I am really not sure.
I mean, it came with the Yugo accessory pack, but I know that's no guarantee it's a Yugo bayonet. Sometimes they send you stuff that.
From what I know, is they all, if you know what you're looking at, you can tell. But if it's not like a rifle or has a arsenal. Well, not all of them have arsenal marks or something like that. So.
Like mine, I didn't know like if you could look up the serial number.
No, but I mean, if you type in Yugoslavian bayonet or AK bayonet, and Matt, it looks like the one in the photo, then it's probably the right one.
Well, I mean,
I can tell you the Yugoslavian one doesn't look like the other one I have, so I'm assuming it's correct. And it has that weird little like hand. I don't even know what that little hand sling. I have no idea.
Oh, the frog?
No, it's got a weird little like I don't know. I don't know what it's for. It's like a sling. It's a sling that goes from basically one end of it to the other. For what reason, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's just to put your hand through.
Yeah, it's like retention maybe, so you don't drop it if.
Huh.
But my other bayonet, it's bakelite, and the scabbard is completely different than the Yugo one that I have. And the Yugo one I have is a sawback, which I don't know if is a Yugo thing or not. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they came in both styles.
Yeah, everything else that came with this Yugo accessory pack that I bought is clearly Yugoslavian, like the grenade spigot, the magazine that I got for it that came as part of the pack. So I mean, I kind of assume that it is, but I don't really know that it is.
Is it all black?
Yes.
Yeah, does it have the weird rubber housing? I don't even see. You should ask Gwebs this question. I'm not the expert. I can't even pretend to know. I know all my other bayonets from different countries and are much easier to tell. Like what the like this, my Swiss bayonets are easy. My British stuff is easy. My American stuff is easy. The AK stuff's a little harder because they're not so clearly stamped.
Right.
Apparently, I'm looking at a photo. Well, this photo is like showing a German bayonet and a Yugo bayonet, and they look a lot alike. Oh, there's some differences. I can see some differences.
Yeah, when I took apart the heel of the bayonet last night to get that Cosmoline out, the other reason I did it was to see if there were any other markings. I didn't find any.
Yeah, you're probably not going to find markings under stuff. Although my Swedish Mauser has like I've never seen so many serial numbers in my entire life. Every single piece that is worth anything on that rifle is serialized. On the rear sight alone, I think there's 3 or 4 serialized parts on the rear sight.
On your Mauser?
Yeah, on my Swedish Mauser.
Damn.
Yeah, that's like something as small as a rear sight, like has I think 3 or 4, I can't remember, serialized parts. Every single piece of wood is serialized on the stock. Every single major component is serialized. I think when it was all said and done, I think I counted 20 something serialized parts on that rifle alone.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I've never ever seen a rifle. I mean, when you're like, oh, so, serial numbers, you're like maybe 3 to 5
4,
parts, maybe.
But yours is up in the 20s. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's the last. I think they do the last 3 digits. So you got like, I think the barrel and the receiver have the full serial number on them. I can't remember if the barrel does or not. The receiver has a full serial number, and then everything else is last 3 of that number everywhere else. It's probably why it's so hard to find one of those with matching serial numbers. Well, I found this picture, Dano, so.
Okay. I'll take a look.
They're comparing the Yugo and the East German, which look very similar, but there are definite differences. This looks like my bayonet, the one on the top. It's not a very good photo. I'm sure up close it's.
Is that just like a shoelace holding that thing on?
What do you mean shoelace?
That goes through the well, I realize it's probably not a shoelace, but that goes from the hilt to the heel.
No, on mine it's like a leather strap. It's weird, but I think not all of them are leather. I think some of them are made out of like a nylon or something. Like I said, it's like a sling for your.
Well,
it's like a sling for your bayonet.
Yeah. Did yours come with it, or did you buy it separately?
The first one I bought didn't, and the second one I bought does. And then I found somebody who's got them individually, so you can if that's something you need, I can give you a link. I can find it.
Good evening.
What's up, Edge?
What's going on, man? I believe that bayonet is foreign, Dano. I can give you that much advice.
Well, right now I'm doing a comparison.
Dano, if I give you this link, I don't want you to hear you whine that you only have $15 for the rest of the week, okay?
Well, I'll tell you what. You hold on to the link, and then I'll catch you next week.
All right. Well, I keep all this stuff pretty well organized in my favorites list, so I'll add it to it and keep it. I feel like
my scabbard is definitely
I feel like there's a.
I see the drain hole different.
I feel like there's an AK bayonet I need to own that I don't, and I gotta figure out what that is. There's got to be like the ultimate, the antithesis of AK bayonets. I'm sure it's Russian.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get around. But right now I got.
Looking at that picture, I'm 100% convinced mine is indeed a Yugo.
I gotta buy a Swedish bayonet. I gotta find a Finnish bayonet for my M39. I need to find. I have bayonets coming out my ears that I need to find that are more important than AK bayonets that I don't own the rifle that attaches to them. Don't ever let I hope Gwebs doesn't hear me say that. Oh shit, he probably did. I'm dead. Fuck. All right, if I disappear off gun channels for I disappeared, you'll know what happened to me.
Yeah, see,
you got stabbed with a bayonet.
No, I like bayonets, but I like owning I like owning the ones of the rifles that I own.
Okay.
If I don't, I have some interest in them. If I find one, I'm like, oh look, it's $10. Yeah, I'll buy it, but I won't seek it out unless I have a rifle that needs it.
Well, I wanted to get one from each of the major powers for all of World War II, and I didn't see, at least at that time, it practical for getting the rifle that went with it for every single major power around the world.
Oh man, I only have the Oh well, I have a bunch, but major power I only. Fuck, I don't know. I have American and British. I don't really have Russian.
It's a little different subject here, but you guys check out that video of Hank Strange getting pulled over?
Yeah, I talked about it last night.
I did.
What?
Yeah, he got pulled over.
He got pulled over on Easter Sunday.
Yeah, and he basically got the dash cam video. He requested it in Florida. You're allowed to do that, and he got that and combined it, made a video about it, and it was pretty kind of fucked up, man. They disarmed him because he has a concealed carry license. The guy's like, do you mind if I just go your gun away from you and put it over here and do this and do that? And I'm like, well, why? I just showed you the way I looked at him, like, he just showed you his card saying that he's a good guy.
Some cops.
Yeah.
That's a cop's prerogative. Here they normally don't do it, but if a cop's really if he's really jumpy, then they'll do it.
Sure, I know you're not going to win the road argument. We've had that discussion on the side of the road, but I'd be like,
that's why I was surprised to hear Hank. He twice in that dash cam video, he kept repeating, which I thought was doing him more hurt than good. Well, I'm in the firearms industry, so I understand how this goes. That's like telling a cop, I'm somebody, so you should pay attention to me. That's not going to help you.
And whenever I've gotten pulled over and I let them know I had it, they're like, well, just don't go for it and we'll be okay. They asked me where it was, and I told them, like, okay, just, don't go in that direction.
Yeah, that's common sense. I mean, it's just respect. But I mean, that whole thing, like, okay, I'm afraid that you're going to shoot me in the back, or there's a distinct possibility it can happen. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? There's been cops that have killed their partners and so on. And I mean, I'm not talking general, but it's happened in the past. So not to say to everybody. I mean, with that argument, anybody with a gun has the potential to shoot you.
The last cop that pulled me over could have cared less. He was just like, oh yeah, whatever. I handed him my car because I just give him my concealed permit with my driver's license, and he looks at it and he just hands it back. And then he came back to the car and he's like, okay, well, warning, just don't do that again, blah blah blah, and that was it. He said nothing about it, didn't care at all.
That's because you're white.
No, it has nothing to do with white. It has more to do with the cop. That particular cop was a older gentleman, so he's been doing this a while. If you get a younger cop, they're a little more wrapped around the axle about some shit.
That cop that pulled Hank over looked to be on the younger side.
Yeah, he looks like, to me, in his upper 20s. low
He's a
30s.
sergeant, man. It takes a while to get there. You just don't become sergeant right away when you become a police officer. It could have been. But I got a buddy that got pulled over in Laredo, and he showed his CHL there, and he got pulled over because he was about to get cited for something. Once the guy saw the CHL, the police officer, he just wrote him a warning, let him go on his way. Says, hey, he kind of gave him the shake. Well, I'm glad you're caring. Kind of that's the way he approached it, and he let him off. He could have given him a ticket. He gave him a warning. Said, okay, man, just be safe. Drive safe. Cut him a break.
Yeah.
Gwebs says he's going to be starting his show soon, so whenever he starts, we'll go end ours.
What topic is he doing, or what's he doing?
I'm not sure.
Well, Baltimore, right?
If a cop wants my fucking pistol, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I don't care. The only time I kind of got a little peeved is he unloaded it on the hood of his car, and then all the my ammo rolled down onto the ground. I'm like, and then was like, well, and then it picks it up out of the dirt and hands it to me, and he's like, don't load it till I leave. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for making sure that you're safe, because God knows I went through all this trouble just so I could shoot the first cop that pulls me over.
Well, I didn't like that declaration he made to him too. He made it clear to him, okay, I'm gonna go put the gun in your car. So if you go towards the car, I'm gonna take the sign of aggression. He told him, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're like, you're basically telling me that you have a problem right away. We got a problem. The way you're approaching me, instead of being courteous and respectful, you're making declarations.
I haven't seen the video, and that's kind of fucked up. Yeah, I'll agree with you. That's kind of weird. But see, and that's the new mentality. That's the new police mentality. It's just fucking them versus us shit. And that's something I hate to say it, but man, that's gotta end, because that them versus us mentality, that we're all the bad guys. We're all civilians. We're all whatever. That it does no good for the way it does no good at all for public and police relations.
I think that's what's fueling a lot of. I mean, I know it's kind of right now what's going on. It's more of a black thing. People think they're getting picked on because they're a minority, or they're profiling and whatnot. But there's a lot of other people that feel that way too. That you have this power over me, yet you're a civil servant. Yeah.
It's that and I mean, whatever them versus us mentality we're talking about. I mean, you got to amplify that by 50 if you're of a different ethnicity, or God forbid you wear a turban on your head or something. Then you're you're probably sweating bullets every time you get, pardon the pun, but every time you get pulled over, because that takes that them versus us mentality and amplifies it.
I'm always cool with cops, as long as they don't pull that bulldog thing on me, hey, chin up, I'm talking to you, real bulldog kind of mentality, I'm in control of this situation, and you have no say outside of, the replies to me. That's when I'm like, come on, dude, just be real. But because I always say hi to them when I'm driving at work, or on the road. Always, it's kind of what they call talking Texas, where you're just gonna wave your hand up and say hi as they pass you, and I don't wish anybody harm, but at the same time, I don't like being, shut the hell up, I'm talking to you.
Dude, cops could learn a fucking whole shitload if they just would have sit down and watched some Andy Griffith show or something about being a cop. Let's face it, though, that's like being friendly, being being approachable, being like a neighbor goes that goes so much farther than being trying to be a soldier, or and they're not soldiers, that's not their job, but they're trying to be this I don't even know what they're trying to be, but it has a feeling like they're trying to, they're in their fucking body armor and their taser and their gun and all this shit.
Well, we're all big kids, and if we start dressing one way, we start acting that way. So they start dressing all military, militaristic. They're going to start acting that way.
Well, I don't even think. I think it goes even farther, that there's been a very large shift in police culture over the
Mhm.
last. I mean, ever since the '60s, there's been a slow shift, but recently it seems that shift is ever since I don't know, maybe the Patriot Act, the shift seems to have amplified to this like uh, militaristic viewpoint, and also it seems like in some areas it's also like this stop and frisk, like you know, like I mean, these cops, some of these cops seem like they don't even understand like the Bill of Rights. Like they have no clue. Like they're like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do whatever I want because this is the way I feel like it should be." They don't give, some of them like, you see you see some shit. It's like, you can't believe that that cop just, shot that guy's dog or fucking punched that lady, or whatever you see. It's like, what in the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I understand that you feel a certain way, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was alive and conscious during the 70s. I was born in 61. I mean, I remember, this is relatively new behavior
It seems like you
as
get a lot.
far as,
They had a problem here in San Antonio in the early '90s where it was known that you didn't backtalk a cop because they pop you hard or
well,
nights.
no,
But
yeah,
then they
but I was taught don't backtalk a cop, but backtalk a cop, period.
That's how I was taught.
I
I,
mean,
I, I grew up in the 80s
to
and
not have
90s.
the best way to not have a problem is to not be that problem.
Hmm.
I mean, if you're the type, if you think it's okay to like shoot a dude in the back and then plant evidence on him, that's not necessarily a symptom of one bad cop. That to me, that's a symptom of a bad police department. You know that that guy felt that he could do that and get away with it, not realizing he was being filmed. That's like some Rodney King shit, where like obviously there it's not just one bad cop.
That's true.
That's a symptom of a larger problem, and there's a lot of police forces that are so far disconnected from the place that they police that they're not a part of the community. They're almost like an occupying force, like.
Right.
I can see what you're talking about because I remember in Laredo when I was there. There's one cop, and he off duty. He would throw it around. I guess that's what he wanted to be a cop is the perks, going around like. I remember one time at the car wash, if something happened to his car and he goes in there and he starts throwing it around like, okay, you know what, you're gonna fix my damn car, or when he's going to jail and then blah blah blah. He's like using that like he has a card in his wallet. He's off duty. It's his personal vehicle. Has nothing to do with anything. And he's just like anybody else. You got a problem, you call. If you're an insurance agent, you don't pull out your badge and start threatening people with it. You're gonna fix it.
Hmm.
And that's what he would do, and he was known for that, just being a real jackass.
Well,
Yeah.
that then they need to kick him off the force. You know.
Well, there's always been something, at least even I've been aware of, called the law enforcement discount. And yeah, you can say, well, it's just, a little bit of a benefit. It's where they whip out their badge, and whether it's at the donut shop, literally, or at any other place where it's a small business and not a bit like it's not going to work at Walmart. But if you go to a mom and pop place and whip out your badge, and they did, because I saw it happen right in front of me, as well as one of my friends is a cop. They don't actually say, "Can I have a law enforcement discount?" They just, as they're holding on the conversation with the cashier, they're holding their wallet open with the badge and the ID right there. So
Yeah,
it's clearly implied that if there is one, they damn well want it.
and
Oh
you
yeah.
could I mean that I whatever that
And,
that
and the
that
way the money works is, let's say I'm the cop, I hand you a 20, you make change for a 20, give it back to me. I still have $20. I just have $20 in change.
God damn it.
That's how the money works, so that it's not obvious to other people what's going on.
God damn it.
But that's been around. It's been going. Like I said, I saw that back in the '70s.
And that's like that's like the cop taking the apple whole thing. It's not really a the part that like you kick that one cop off the force. you have not solved anything, and that's what people. I mean, it's the whole gun, like our argument about our gun rights. It's like, yeah, you go ahead and ban it, but you're not solving the problem. You know, it's the same thing with the police. You kick that one cop that shot or beat up or did whatever. He didn't do that because, or he may have done it, and a lot of it's in very small. I mean, it may just be one bad apple, but usually it's a symptom of a larger problem within the police department that he felt that he could get away with that because he'd get backed up by his buddies or his chief or whatever. So
And I would agree with you on that, Chris. Absolutely. The question is that regardless, we still have to enforce when individuals fuck up. They need to pay the appropriate price.
I know, I agree.
But we also need to make sure that there's, getting back to an overused word, transparency, that they're a lot more accountable than they have been to get rid of all the people who are getting away with crap.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned. I mean, because there's a lot of guys that don't get filmed that get away with it.
Yeah. I agree. All right, well, I'm going to run over to the other chat because I think it's about to start.
It's getting close.
Did you get an invite?
Yeah,
Say what?
if you want an invite, just let Gwebs know. Just say no even.
Oh, he's
in a
being
private message
snobby
to
now with invites, huh? No even. What does that mean?
He actually made a mistake. He sent me a link already, so.
Oh, so you got a link?
Yes, I did.
Well,
Yeah, he said, let me now.
Mhm.
And then you put in there, no even. So.
Yeah, I got a link too. I asked him if I could share it with everyone in this chat, and I'm gonna see what he says. So, let's see. If he
do we
answers.
know that? Is he doing a topic chat or?
It's just gonna be gun questions.
Or just general?
I'm assuming so. I asked him. He just said gun questions. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you over there if you get a link, Dana.
Yeah.
All right, Quirk.
I'm gonna shut this down because I'm gonna jump over there as well.
Yeah. You go ahead and shut it down.
All right.